Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a Patreon cast for those who subscribe to me on patreon.com/FalconPaladin for at least $1 a month if you're seeing this the week of July the 24th. And thank you very much for supporting me on patreon.com. I appreciate it. Top right-hand corner is the blue Protoss player. It is Neeb. And in the bottom left, it is the red Terran player, Uthermal. So two of the top foreigners for their respective races coming at each other today. Uthermal's had some good wins on the channel recently. Neeb has not, but Neeb has also reached some higher highs than Uthermal in the past. But I think right now, Uthermal is ranked higher than Neeb on the standings, so I think Uthermal's got to have he's got to have the advantage overall here in this matchup. 2020 has been a weird year for this man, for PvT. For a long time, just for months and months, people were complaining as Terran that Protoss was overpowered. And then without really any balance changes, and this is before like the cannon over the shield battery overcharge thing, right? All of a sudden, Terran was fine. Like all of a sudden, Terran started doing great against Protoss. And it's good. I think it's a good thing when the game is just kind of naturally flipping back and forth between where one race feels underpowered, then they feel overpowered, and then they feel underpowered again, and just kind of like we're trying to figure stuff out here. No problemo. It is a Reaper on the way from Uthermal. A Reaper against Protoss is I always feel sad for them. But we'll see. All right, Reaper's name is Gwenpool. Help, I'm trapped in this Reaper suit. I was jumping between comic panels, and I don't know how I ended up in this video game. This doesn't look like any Marvel art style I've ever seen. I don't think I'm even a main character. Oh no, am I in a real-time strategy game? I don't even like those. I'm gonna die. Reference, the unbelievable Gwenpool. Which, one of my friends at work really likes Gwenpool. I haven't read any of them. I do like Spider-Gwen, though. Spider-Gwen is cool. No problems with her at all. She was one of my favorite parts in the Into the Spider-Verse movie, so she can stick around as long as I'm concerned. Reaper, just checking for proxies. I mean, you know, by the time you get out here, there's going to be an Adept or a Stalker. You're going to have a hard time accomplishing much of anything at all, and it's just going to be a really discouraging time for all Reapers in this matchup until something major changes, which I really don't necessarily see happening. So Factory coming in from Uthermal. Reaper is like, all right, man, we'll do our best here, but getting a probe kill is so stupid hard. Yeah. See, Stalker is zippity-zoppity, and you can kind of dodge around and abuse the fact that you're faster than it, kind of, and you can hop up and down cliffs and stuff, but eventually it's just time to go. SCV scouting for Uthermal does scout the robo-warping, and that's really nice. That's really nice from our Dutch Terran player. Excellent job. So far, good scouting information. Sees the robo-opening. Going for Hellions. Going for a starport, so we're 1-1-1-ing it with the command center. Upgrading it to an orbital command here. At approximately 30 supply, Chrono Boost is good, so Neeb does have a worker advantage at the moment, but that is not enough to say he's going to win this thing entirely at this moment in time. What are we doing here today? We have seen a lot of just Warp Prism Blinkstalker shenanigans from Protoss against Terran, mostly from Parting, who did qualify for the playoff in the latest GSL. Looked pretty good doing it. Not on that, though. Not on the back of that. Dude, Gwenpool just straight up died. But a Hellion got inside thanks to Gwenpool's grenade, so that's pretty decent stuff. I don't know if you're getting any kills, though. I really don't. I'm looking at it. Another shot from the Adept. The Stalker comes in. Ka-chow. Yeah, you're dead. You is dead. The jukes are real, but you're not getting out of here. Are you? Oh, my gosh. Oh, the warping, and oh, the block. And the block was so good. Beautiful. Sheer beauty there. All right, what are we doing? Cloak Banshee opening from Uthermal. This is something I've seen Special do quite a bit. This is not Special, obviously, but that's fine. Widowmine here from Uthermal at third base. Loving that. Loving that so much. I mean, Neeb's going to see it. But is he going to forget about it is the question. And the chaos of everything else that is happening in StarCraft is always the question. Banshee moving out. Cloak about 50% complete. The timing does line up there quite nicely for the Banshee to have Cloak when it arrives and starts doing stuff. Do you have shield batteries inside your main? Do you have cannons inside your main? No. The Natural doesn't have any of those things right now. Is there an observer out? There is. There's 2, and there is 1 hanging around. Okay. So, yes, he's got stalkers and he has detection. So, in that case, you don't need a shield battery. You don't need a cannon to defend against potential Banshee harass. But a shield battery is nice because, again, you can heal through the damage a Banshee is doing. 1 Banshee. You can heal through the damage 1 Banshee is doing here. And if you got the cloak, it's a little bit scary. But, again, the Observer is in the neighborhood. And I say that not knowing exactly where it is. Oh, it's down here by the 3rd base. Oh, but the Banshee can't get any damage done anyway, even if it's cloaked. So that is rough stuff. Time for a Marine tank push, says Uthermal. I think it's time for me to do some damage here. Additional Marines in production. Additional barracks coming up here, 2 and a 3rd CC coming in. As Neeb's 3rd base is already running. Neeb is looking good. Really good. That Banshee, though, accomplishes nothing before she dies. And nice force fields. The Marines want to get back. They can't. That tank is sieging up. Another tank in the back has sieged up already. The Immortal goes down. I think that went better for Uthermal than he was expecting it to. Not too shabby. So pushing up to the 3rd base a little bit, but there are now Zealots. There are shield batteries you can fall back to. And that tank is dead. The next tank is also dead. And the Colossus are here to clean up the bio quite easily. So Neeb holds that attack pretty darn effectively. 3rd base should be done by now. Just about done upgrading to an orbital command. Going to go ahead and land in that 3rd base location. And so far, just kind of a Marine tanking it. Here is Uthermal. Pretty standard composition versus Protoss these days. 3rd base, I assume, is going to be up here. Although, again, putting it here would not be too bad either. At the moment, the income is favoring the Protoss because he does have a 7-worker lead. Although mules are super good, there are actually just a bunch just got dropped, so we should see that income move into Uthermal's side. There we go. Right about now. Is Neeb going to go for a 4th base? I don't know. He got a 3rd base pretty quickly, but his 4th seems to be a little bit late by comparison. He is worried about future attacks from Uthermal ruining his day. Oh, get production back up, Falcon. You were on units for some time, weren't you? I'm sure you guys were annoyed by that and yelling at me, but I couldn't hear you because this is a VOD. Extended thermal lance coming in, no big surprise there. Stim, combat shield, upgrades for the bio. Widow mines coming in here too. So yes, Colossus are going to be great in this situation. Banshee tries to get stuff done. Does end up getting 1 kill in an area that I don't think the shield battery can reach, which is nice, which is not too bad. Pushing his Neeb. He doesn't have a huge army, but he's counting on the fact that Uthermal just took a 3rd and he's a little bit low on army value, and he is. It's 52 to 45 right now in favor of the Protoss player. Stalkers, thinking about it. Kind of poking on in, but the siege tanks are really good against the Colossus, and they outrange them even with extended thermal lance. So if you're dealing with Colossus as a Terran player, definitely you want to be getting those siege tanks to just keep yourself alive. In general, we got our Vikings in production. I don't know if it's going to be mass Colossus. There are 2. With no more on the way. So this is something that Protoss players sometimes do. Is they'll make a couple Colossus and they'll hope the Terran player overreacts and makes like 15 Vikings. When really it's just 2 Colossus, which is not as big of a deal, and it's largely ground army, and then suddenly your Vikings are not as good. Did he just Widow Mine? He just Widow Mine dropped. He just killed 14 probes over on the left side there with a single Widow Mine drop. The engagement here is real. The SCVs getting pulled off the line. The War Prism shenanigans to keep the Colossus alive, even as they're in the front lines here. Getting battered up, moving them to the back lines. This is really good stuff. 16 SCVs die in trade for the 14 probes that went down. And he gets the damage done he needs to immediately. Oh, jeez, are we still firing on? Okay, we're still firing on stuff. 4 more probes go down. Neeb has not been bothered to clean out the Widow Mines at his 3rd base at all. I feel like he's trying to kill Uthermal fast here, but I just don't know if that's an option or not. Ah, blinks on up into the main base, going after reactors and tech labs. Good targets as they are low HP and easy to kill, and really ruins the Terran's ability to get things like upgrades and to, you know, pump out a lot of Vikings, for example. Killing reactors on the starports is a really good thing to do, but we're moving in Disruptor, see? Disruptor's now coming in. I don't think we're going to make any more Colossus today, would be my guess. 5 kills and 3 kills on those Colossus, not bad. Disruptor hits can be very good. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Disruptors versus Terran. Just because they're so good at splitting, right? They've been splitting versus Banelings since 2010, and they are good at it. So you can, again, you can hope that your opponent is getting confused by things and just harried and harassed, and in the heat of the action, when there's a giant battle going on, they somehow don't see the Purification Nova coming in to murder them, and then it murders them. So, again, that's something you can hope for. But it's not really something you can rely on. You know what I mean. 7 Zealots in production. Charge is just about done here, too, for the Protoss. Ghost Academy finishing up. We're going to see some of those EMPs. EMPs are very good. Oh, that Banshee got 2 probes and got massacred. But yeah, EMPs are going to be a big deal here. EMP with enhanced shockwave is basically one of the big things that allowed Terran to get back into a situation where they felt comfortable versus Protoss. Is those EMPs are great. Everything Protoss has is shielded. Knocking 100 shields off of that Protoss army is extraordinarily good. Scouting Factory gets murdered. Are we done? Really? You're just done with tanks now. Doesn't make sense. Blinks up to the high ground, but surprise! Uthermal's waiting for that. Nice EMP, even without enhanced shockwave there, and all those stalkers get obliterated, except for the ones that can escape and blink down to the low ground. That's brutal. That was a brutal shellacking. He was waiting for it that time. Neeb took the bait and got punished heavily for it. Good news is his 4th base is running. He's resaturated his 3rd base. He's up 70 workers to 64. Income is still favoring the Protoss at the moment, as Uthermal still on 3 bases. They're at 11 minutes. Dark Shrine on the way from Neeb. I'm not sure if this is a when behind Dark Shrine scenario, but DT attacks can be pretty good in late game PvT, especially if they have the Blink ability, the Shadow Stride, that allows them to get on out of situations that are dangerous. Like if they get scanned, they can blink outside of the scan radius and escape into the night. So yeah, still no 4th base from Uthermal. He's got a command center, but it's just, again, Neeb's managed to stay 1 base up. He's always been up in supply. He's always been up in worker count here, and I think that is going to benefit him immensely in this game. I think last time I cast Uthermal versus Neeb, Uthermal won. But Neeb is looking a lot better in this game. I'm not really seeing many mistakes of his other than blinking into the main base there. And sometimes Novas aren't intended to really kill stuff. Nice EMPs. They're just there to catch or zoned units out. Look at that split. God, that was beautiful. That was so beautiful from Uthermal there. The Vikings are sniping down, again, the 2 Colossus we only made today. They actually managed to escape with their lives. Jeez, Colossus doing stuff. But Uthermal pushing here. Counterattack of Zealots getting in Uthermal's natural base and his main base, causing some major problems. But Uthermal's up here at the front, ready to rock. He could go out to the 4th base if he wanted to. There's a High Templar here with enough energy for a storm, though. He's also worried about all the stuff that's happening back home. His 3rd base is under assault by Zealots. He kind of needs, there you go. He does get the base. He kills 8 probes, but he's lost 26 SCVs on the other end, and that count is continuing to ratchet up. Uthermal coming into the 4th base. High Templar, I don't think he got a storm off before he died, and the next Nexus goes down. Neeb loses his 3rd and his 4th Nexuses to this Bio Ball. Just outputting huge amounts of damage, and no, not enough. It's not enough. Neeb ends up getting the win here. Too much economic damage done on the back of those Zealots. It is only 49 workers. There's nothing happening here. Look at that income disadvantage. The natural base, nothing is happening. The main base has Zealots inside here too, going after those SCVs. It's just a mess. This tank is trying to deal with them. Zealots are charging on top of that. He just doesn't have anything back home, and anything he tries to make is immediately getting taken down by the Zealots. So it was a little bit... I mean, the army supply is about the same here for Neeb. So, like, he should be able to handle it, right? But it's just such a weird situation where he takes down the 3rd Nexus again. So, right, oh, hang on. So, man, I skipped back farther than I thought I did. I just pressed B once. I thought that was 20 seconds. Yeah, that poor Templar did not get a storm off. So hold on, I want to see what's going on back here. These guys, they cleaned out the main base. That tank went down. The 3rd base is toast. 41 SCVs have gone down. Okay, so it's 30. There you go. So it's 30 SCVs That income tab is abysmal if you're a Terran player. And yeah, Neeb he got it done today. See, look how far back this goes. I guess it's only 20 seconds. It feels like a lot happens, though. He kills the 3rd base, and he kills the 4th base, and he moves out here, and then he GG's. Very strange indeed. I know I'm watching this end a lot, but it was just a little bit abrupt, and I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, so he's here, and yeah, so he's like, all right, cool. I took down 2 bases of Neeb, but he has enough money to replant both of them immediately. I don't have an answer to the Zealots currently wrecking my 3rd base. My 4th base doesn't have a planetary or anything at it at all. I'm down to 29 SCVs. And yes, they say that Terran is the comeback race, but geez, that's a rough place to be. Did neither of these Colossus die today? Yeah, he made 2 Colossus and neither of them died at all. Not like they have 100 kills, but 9 kills there, 3 kills there. They've done some splash damage that hasn't resulted in kills, which is fine. Yeah, it's not like it's a massive army here for Neeb, but he kept his economy is the big deal. He ends up losing a total of 30 probes, which is bad, but 60 SCVs go down, and that's going to be your difference today. So, man, where did those guys... All right. I know, we're looking. You guys are like, this game's over, Falcon. Knock it off. I know it. This warp prism. This warp prism right here that took some missile turret hits. While all this is happening, Neeb manages to sneak a warp prism along this backside. And he just unloads some zealots, warps some other ones in, and it all starts from here. Amazing. And then all the while, Neeb is microing back home. It is just weird to me that Neeb ends up losing his 3rd and his 4th Nexus. He's on a 2-base economy where his main is effectively mined out, and yet he wins the game. Where Uthermal has an orbital command, an orbital command, an orbital command. And I overstated it earlier. I said there was no way for him to get units out of these buildings without them getting slaughtered. I guess part of it, he doesn't have a bank, right? Part of it is he is sitting on 70 total minerals. He can't make anything else at the moment. He's making, 3 Marauders and 3 Marines, but the production facilities are totally happy for Neeb. He's got a 1,000 mineral, 1,000 gas bank. He can produce additional stuff here, and Uthermal can't. So this is just Uthermal analyzing the situation and coming to a conclusion faster than I could, which is entirely fair because he's Uthermal and I'm not. But great game. I mean, beautiful game there from Neeb. Really well played again, except for that one bleak up into the main. That was a bit of a mistake. Otherwise, we've been okay. So yeah, 25 Stalkers went down. 7 Vikings got killed in their attempts to kill the 2 Colossus that they never killed today. Crikey, 53 Marines. 1 Ghost. Only 1 Ghost died. There were still 3 left in the group. He never got enhanced shockwaves, which I think he was planning on getting soon, but never had the chance to. 21 Zealots at the end of the game. 16 went down. And yeah, pretty good scrappy game. I mean, this is a large replay file for something that's 13 minutes, which indicates how good of a game it is. Just action all the way across. And that's what we like to see. All right, cool stuff. That is going to be it from me today. And this has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.